Hello and welcome to Module 3, Chapter 6, Linking PLA-MNH Groups. This presentation is split into 4 sections. First, we will go through a short reminder on the responsibilities, knowledge and skills that all PLA-MNH group facilitators need to link PLA-MNH groups. We will then focus on the skills and knowledge needed to effectively link PLA-MNH groups. Then we will cover what to do next after reviewing this presentation, and finally we will also give you guidance on how to get answers to any questions you might have. Let's start. As presented previously, PLA-MNH group facilitators are critical and central to the success of the PLA-MNH group approach. They are the members of the program implementation team most directly involved in supporting PLA-MNH groups to achieve their objectives. To do this, PLA-MNH group facilitators have 4 key responsibilities: facilitating the group action cycle, reporting on the group progress, linking the groups, and building capacity of PLA-MNH group committees. In Chapter 6, we are concerned specifically with building capacities in relation to the third responsibility, linking PLA-MNH groups. There is one knowledge and skill area that is critical for group facilitators to deliver this responsibility effectively. We call it linking skills. Let's start by explaining what we mean by linking groups. The core of PLA-MNH groups is bringing communities together so that together they can support their members to survive and thrive. The group working together can make a huge difference to the well-being of the whole community. If the group reaches out and links with people and organizations outside of their PLA-MNH group, or even outside of their community, they will have even more opportunities and supports to create positive changes. This is what we refer to as linking PLA-MNH groups. To successfully link PLA-MNH groups, facilitator will use many of the same skills they need for other aspects of their work, such as good communication and facilitation skills. Let's now explore further why PLA-MNH groups should be linked. First, it can help mobilize new members. Linking can also be critical to mobilize resources for group solutions. By linking with people from different places and experiences, groups can also learn from them. Some links can also help reach marginalized community members who usually don't join community groups. And they can also help raise the voice of PLA-MNH groups to reach the people who can make a real change, such as politicians and the media. Now let's consider who groups should link with. That will depend on each individual group, and potential links should be considered carefully by the group. Later in this chapter, we will give advice on how PLA-MNH facilitators, supervisors, and managers can lead this process. As a general rule, groups should be open-minded about who to link with. Overall, anyone who is sympathetic to the group's cause and can help the group achieve their goals can become a valuable link. To illustrate PLA-MNH group linking, let's look at a few examples of stakeholders groups may want to link with. Those include religious leaders, business owners, community leaders, community organizations, health workers, media, government authorities, teachers, other PLA-MNH facilitators, and non-governmental organizations operating in the group's area. Now, how can the group decide who they should link with? Having seen the examples, it might be tempting to make many links far and wide, but with limited time and resources, groups may find it more beneficial to make connections with a few carefully selected stakeholders. The mapping tool can help the group strategically think about those relationships. Let's have a look at an example from a project in Uganda. During their training, facilitators in Uganda were advised to have a think about people and organizations they know or have heard of who could become PLA-MNH group supporters. Stakeholders who have an interest in maternal and newborn health, as well as some skills, resources, relationships that could help the group's cause. They used a mapping exercise for that. similar to the resource mapping exercise that was explained in Chapter 4. The difference here is that placed at the center is the issue of MNH concern and not a specific resource needed. Those closest to the concern are those individuals and organizations that the facilitator believes have the most likelihood for her group to link with. Let's see what the map looked like for facilitator from Uganda, Namono. Namono thought an important link will be with a retired nurse that lives in her village. She also identified a local NGO Y as a potential link, a local business owner, and a local politician X. The list of these potential links Namono drafted during her training really helped her group. Based on maternal newborn health problems they prioritized and solutions they decided to implement, they revisited this list to help them decide who, why, and how they should proceed to link with. Let's now look what influenced Namono's placement of them in her mapping. The link she places close to the center was a retired nurse who lives in the same village, so is a direct link. She will likely be very interested to support the group with her health knowledge. She might even become a PLA-MNH group member, which would be very welcome. Namana also placed NGO Y relatively close to the center of her mapping. She does not have a direct link with this NGO, but she heard before from a friend they have done healthy cooking lessons in other villages. So even though she doesn't have a direct link with them, based on the work the NGO does, they may be an important link for her group. The next stakeholder identified was a local business owner, a mechanic who may be able to help with some of the group solutions. She placed him a little bit further away than the others, as even though he has 3 adult daughters who all have been pregnant, so he has interest in maternal and newborn health, he is very busy, so might not have the time to offer any support to the group. The link put most further away was the local politician X. Namono heard her on the radio speaking about her sister unfortunately dying in childbirth, so she knows the politician has some interest in maternal newborn health. The politician is not from her community, so building a link could be difficult, but might be worth exploring together with the group when the time comes. The politician has a large platform and could raise the importance of maternal newborn health beyond Namono's community. To summarize, what did Namono consider when doing her potential link mapping? The first consideration is, does the stakeholder have interest in maternal newborn health? This can be professional or personal interest. Second, could the stakeholder offer some kind of support to the group to benefit their cause? This can be financial or in-kind donations, lending their skills, or using their connections. Finally, how likely is a link with them? Are they local or external? May someone in the village know them? Or maybe group supervisors and managers know them? Based on those considerations, the facilitators can decide how close to place the stakeholders to the center of their mapping. The list of potential links will help the group think about stakeholders, and together they will decide which links they should pursue and how. Once the group starts working on establishing the links, they will need to clearly communicate their message to the stakeholder they are approaching, explaining who they are, why they are reaching out, how they think the stakeholder could help their community, and, if applicable, how the stakeholder's involvement could be beneficial for the stakeholder themselves. Many people will be very happy to help, although some might not be able to. That should not discourage the groups to pursue links. That brings this chapter to a completion. What should you do now that you've finished it? First, we recommend that you update the Module 3 Progress Tracker. Second, we encourage you to do exercise 6.1. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We can be reached on email or by phone, and you can see our contact details on the screen now. Thank you for listening.